their lives safer, brighter, and more productive. I don't say it enough. I wanted to say in a very special way, thank you for all the care, the hustle, the execution, the results, and for the support you showed us in 2024. Now, of course, we all know it's a new year, it's 2025, and I think a lot of you guys know Generac like I do, so what do we have to do? We have to power forward. We have to find new ways to connect, like Aaron talked about this morning, with new markets, new opportunities. We gotta invest in our businesses, our teams, sales, right? We continue to grow with us. But do this, settle for more. Now I can say this because I've been here like a hot minute. I'm actually in my 17th year, and I've absolutely seen a lot. And there's a lot of things that I'm very proud of at working at Generac, but this sticks out right now, and that is this doesn't get old. This never gets old. And if you know me a little bit, I get a little more energized, a little more passionate, but it's because of what's going on in this category. This is an evolution. This is like no other industry. And I can't really see you all, but the opportunities that this presents for everybody in this room is unparalleled. So real quick, my dad told me a long time ago. He was a sales leader in printing, specialized in pharma. He told me, don't stand still in life. Keep moving, don't be a spectator, but be convicted. Take action on that conviction. Always follow up because that builds trust. Become an expert, be that trusted advisor. But you're gonna have to reinvent yourself numerous times over that journey. So I did, I clung to that. Cling to what you believe in, but take action. Look, this evolution is palpable, and this is gonna sound weird. I hope everybody in here can taste it like I can. So let's be open to reinventing ourselves to adjust to this new buyer today, because people absolutely need our energy solutions, don't they? Power quality, like Aaron talked about, is problematic. Now we have a beefier megatrend list now. We have the higher cost of power. None of that really bodes well for the people out there, the consumers. Now look, it's great for all of us in here, but it's not really great for them. And then you have what's called customer expectations. Everything hinges off of this. Okay, so as our business grows, customer expectations grows with that. That terrain is greatly shifted and will continue to shift. So I gotta quote somebody. I do, and I think you probably know the guy. You know the company. You probably have a membership. I'm not afraid to say I have a membership. It's Amazon. So the guy that runs that company is Jeff Bezos. Here's what he says about expectations. The one thing I love about customers is that they are divinely discontent. Their expectations are never static. They always go up, and that is human nature. So it's critically important that we not only embrace this evolution that is tangible, we also have to embrace the ever-changing and evolving expectations of customers today. So I want to share something with you guys that is really cool. I'm actually seeing a movement. I've been seeing it for a little bit. I'm seeing this gravitation of dealers to Chris and the services that he's been providing. Now, I've been a small part of this transformation. I've had countless conversations that I love, meetings, dialogue, what have you, but I get a sense these dealers are a little bit stuck. They'll tell me things. My business is a little fragmented. My departments don't really speak together. I'm too siloed. How about this? When a lead comes in, we get back or try to get back inside of 36 to 24 hours. My follow-up process, not truly consistent. It's not documented. Can't really tell you exactly what happens. When we input data, we have different platforms. We have to input that, merge it, marry it together. It just consumes so much time. And then our appointment setting call. When I kind of look at it, it's not really a qualification call. And they would say, admittedly, I could probably do a little bit better because we try to get off the phone really fast and really just book the appointment. This is the difference though. They want to break through. They want to break through the glass ceiling. They want to take the action. So I kind of route them over here. They do the heavy lifting, they adopt these processes, procedures, and systems. Let me tell you something. The freedom this has provided these business owners to strategically work on the business and have balance, where they're not putting fires out all day, every day, or getting caught up in low-value tasks, and then the financial returns, allowing them to double down on the business, reinvest, and more efficiently. Let me say this about what you all have done with installation efficiencies over the last, say, 5, 6, 7 years. You have poured your heart and soul into that. You've invested, remember that word, invested, with people, equipment, training, and you guys have produced. Why would that be any different than what we're going to talk about today? The reality is it's not. It's the same thing. We have to continue to evolve, shape, and transform the way we do business with this new buyer of today. All right, I know you're dying here. I want to introduce Chris, give you a little bit quick backstory on Mr. Chris Stillwell. So here it is. I met Chris 5 years ago. He was working as a sales leader for a really big energy company and a big dealer, but he built the dealership there. He built the division. He did. So that was thriving. He was also running home services, and that was thriving. And then he leaves. Now, the reason he left was he had a vision. He saw a crater gap, whatever you want to call it, a need for the services that he has today. Now, I give him a lot of credit for having the courage to leave, and he started TSSG back in early 2023. That stands for the Stillwell Specialist Group. So today, Chris and his team are working very closely with over 75 dealers around this great country as a sales, growth, and business coach, and the metrics are soaring. Now, because of Chris's success, Chris is also a Generac vendor partner, so Chris is doing a lot of coaching, a lot of training with many of our internal teams, specifically the nurturing team and the scheduling team. And again, I mean, you should see the metrics coming out of that. It's amazing. So it's a true privilege to be able to be up here with Chris together to deliver this ever important message. Now, I will unleash him. He's probably chomping at the bit. I know he is, but I'm going to unleash him. I got a little more housekeeping I got to do, and I got to tee him up too. Now, what you just witnessed from Chris Meese and Mark DeOlio firsthand, the importance of speed and optimization and the role that they're going to play in 25. It's going to boil down to performance and expectations. We have to meet the customer where they want to be met. Those two things, performance and expectations, are intrinsic. They go hand in hand, guys. And lead distribution, rightfully so, is going to ride on those factors. So I have 3 really important questions I want to ask you. It's rhetorical. I want you to think about these. How will this impact your business? What are some of the investments that I have to think about making, right? Maybe put them in your iPad, iPhone, make a mental note, but please really do think about these questions. The first question is a 2-part question. How much risk are you willing to take for your business continuing to do the same things you've been doing over the last 5, 10, 15, or 20 years? Now, are those things that you've been doing over that period of time, are they going to get you and your business to where you want to go? Because what got us here today isn't going to get us to where we're going. Second question, how will your business remain competitive over the next 12, 18, or 24 months if you don't align with both Generac and the market trajectories? How will you stay competitive? Last question feeds into what Chris and Mark were talking about earlier, and that is, today, what emphasis does your business place on speed? Here comes a lead. They have a problem. Here comes a lead. How quickly do you go connect with that lead and then optimize it and convert it to a truly qualified in-home consultation, and then use automation to wrap it all together to what? To drive better performance. Okay? Now, the answers to those questions obviously lie with you guys. We have a solution, okay? I can tell you that right now. What I'll tell you about those answers, they're gonna determine a lot in 2025. And that is exactly the processes that Chris will lay out that will do 4 critically important things for your business. Not only is it going to actually enhance customer engagement, which is paramount to matching customer expectations, it's also going to speed up your sales cycle and reduce friction. So this is a good thing. It's going to mitigate sales resistance and help prevent, block, and tackle some of those nasty objections. So, through Chris's improved processes, enhanced communication strategies, and better utilization of the office staff and automation, this is a perfect complement to our kitchen table series, okay? This is a major catalyst for you to not only grow and accelerate your business, but reclaim valuable time for yourself and, of course, your staff. So how did we get here? Lots of travel. He takes planes, trains, automobiles. I know this guy's out every single week. It's unbelievable. I'm right behind him. I'm not out as much as him, but he's in front of the dealers, right? So a lot of being in the trenches, researching, asking these same type of calibrated, interrogative type questions so that we can understand each dealer's unique situation. So from those learnings, we were able to identify the top 4 challenges that we see universally across this great network that we unequivocally know, with confidence, can help change the course, direction, and trajectory of your business. So here they are. I'm going to run through these. The first one I'm unpacking for you, right? What is IHC? Well, we use that terminology, low IHC show rate. So today we know that there is a very small population of dealers that are effective at tracking a booking rate and a show rate. Unfortunately, the vast majority of dealers don't track either of those 2 metrics. Okay, show rate's not complex by any stretch. It is when you show up to the house. Do you have a truly qualified decision maker or makers that has vested in hours worth of their time? The 2 key words there are qualified and vested, because here's what happens. Customers cancel last minute, they forget about the appointment. I don't think those things are good. Here's what I believe is worse. The customer is unprepared for when the sales specialist shows up to the house, okay? And that stems from a lack of pre-qualification and inadequate communication prior to the in-home consultation. It's wasted resources for your business. Frustration at the sales level. It reduces your efficiencies because of the insufficient pre-appointment engagement. See, without it, customers may not really understand. They may not know what's important. They may not even know what's expected of them, and they have skin in the game, and therefore they don't prioritize the call. Chris will address that. The second one that we uncovered is what's called a falling close rate. Okay, so you get the booking. That's great, right? Fantastic. But the struggle is still there, because here come the smoke screens. These are the customer objections. So if you were to take one nugget away from this, and you're going to take so many nuggets away from this guy, and all these action items, it's awesome. We're going to put you to work. For me, this is the through line. This is kind of like my opinion. What we want to establish during the pre-appointment engagement is a clear picture of that customer's pain and or problem. That is what brought them to the table, the problem. So what do we want to do? We want to actually grow the problem. We want to build the gap. We want them to articulate the problem back to us, and through a series of calibrated questions, help build the vision of the problem in their own mind so they can distinguish between the perception and the reality of those requirements. You know what we want to do? We need to get them more vested with emotion and time. So then on that qualification call, you can say, oh, I believe we can help you. Let's send somebody out to see if we can install that, right? And then with that, then you can propose a way to alleviate the current and the future problem. Because when those smoke screens come in, it's about price, indecision, multiple quotes, and delays. That's lost revenue for your business. You're actually increasing the sales cycle, and you're falling behind your competition. 3 root issues to this, okay? The first, and these aren't complex, the first one is this. We are not communicating enough the value and the solution to take the current and the future problem away. But what happens if they fail to act? That problem does not go away. Second problem, root issue. If you're really good with payment, affordability, and financing, and like you promote affordability, it's like you're using the tools, it's a through line for your business, you quote with payment and you crush it, just cover your ears for like 3 seconds. And we've talked a lot about financing. Unfortunately, and this does blow my mind, especially today with buyers, there's still a lack of commitment, a lack of understanding and clarity around payment. That's what buyers want today, is a payment path. So we need your help to continue to drive that theme. Last one is easy, and that's why Chris and I are up here. You simply might be lacking the tools and the training to address these things. Third one, lack of follow-up. Okay, so if we're being honest, do we have a truly consistent, structured, robust, detailed, and written out follow-up procedure that we actually reinforce with our teams? Without it, customers fade away, they drift off, they may abandon us, they have a bad experience, you lose momentum, you lose credibility, and guess what? It drives up acquisition costs because we're undermining leads by not pursuing them appropriately. Comes down to three basic things. Your sales team or person is stretched too thin. Chris will address that through better utilization of the office staff and automation. We might lack a structure. And the last thing is, if you're solely relying on your sales team to do the follow-up, it's going to lead to inconsistency. I've been in sales my entire career. I think my entire career. It's been a long time, 30 years, I guess. I understand salespeople. Sometimes they have a myopic view on things. They leave a situation, maybe they got banged up, maybe they didn't perform that well, they didn't follow a process, maybe they got emotional, and they tell themselves, they psych themselves out. They're like, I'm not calling that customer back, I'm not wasting my time. Here's what we gotta remember, 80% of the sales are gonna take place after that original in-home consultation. So we have to recognize the importance of it. We have to recognize that it's an integral part of the sales cycle and that it will take multiple interactions with that customer before we can get them to a place and a headspace where they're going to make an informed decision. Last one, probably the most important. We never have enough time. He's going to help lay that out to provide more time for you. So let's say this. Let's say you're struggling with inefficient communication. Let's say that you're missing key opportunities for engagement and follow-up. Let's say that your customer information is a little bit disorganized. And let's say your office staff is overwhelmed and bogged down with mundane admin tasks. Automation with a CRM and a field service management dials all of this in. Because otherwise, what are we dealing with? Platforms, spreadsheets, you gotta put that together, merge it, marry it. That takes a lot of time. That's inefficient. We got customer folders, we got note-taking. You know what that leads to? Scattered data. And then it becomes increasingly taxing to provide both timely and modern communication, both of which are absolutes for buyers of today, right? That leads to lost sales. Your customer SAT score might get dinged up, chews up valuable time. You are falling behind and it reduces your profitability. And a field service management solution that is geared to Generac dealers. Because I've heard it. I can't find something, Steve, that matches my needs. I see this all the time. There's a hesitation to adopt the new technology because there's this stigma or perception that it's too costly and too complex. And then there's this last one, there's a resistance to move away from traditional methods. I don't care what it is, it's blocking you. It's blocking you from streamlining your operations and getting much healthier outcomes for your business. So it's actually time to hand it over to Chris, but it's also time to modernize your business. Let's give the customers the convenience they want, and let's meet this new buyer where they demand to be met, and let's make it easier to do business with your dealership.